All right, we got picture. Good morning, good day, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today here at Ocean Technologies Group, meeting DanDocs and Marine Regulations. We're very, very happy that you found the time and invested the time to come and see us and have a look at what is new with Marine Regulations joining the Ocean company. So let me start this and introduce ourselves. Ronnie, would you like to go first and introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Henning. My name is Ronnie Palmqvist. I'm the founder and of DanDocs, owner of Marine Regulations, and are now CEO of DanDocs in Ocean Technology Groups. I have a background as a mechanical engineer. I've been working with rules and regulations for more than 15 years now. And I'm happy to be part of this webinar and Ocean Technology Groups.
Fantastic, thank you. I'll do the same. My name is Henning Davis. I've actually been part of the industry now for 22 years. Started out in media. So the thing that actually excites me about the maritime industry is the engagement with the people and the technology. If you actually look back, we started off with beta tapes, VHS slides, DVDs, going into computers. It is a constant evolution in technology. And this presentation today will also show you what is new today and joining us. So let's talk about where we come from with Ocean Technologies Group. We started off in 2020 with 1 million seafarers, 20,000 vessels, and 1,400 customers. That started the journey for Ocean. And we combined fantastic products and services together, 6 companies joining and making up the Ocean Technologies Group. And from then, we actually took the effort to segmentize it and put the products in different packets that we are servicing. So we have the learning and assessment area segment, we have the crew management segment, and the fleet segment. And today, I'm extremely excited to see Marine Regulations join us in that family of products and suite of products and services. Marine Regulations, as you can see, actually sits covering all sorts of wakes of the segments, so it works for all of them. It actually helps us with regulations and the legislation that is very much influential on the operational performance of your fleet, the crew, the entire operation. So with this, we're going to welcome DanDocs today and give you a short introduction of what they have in store for us. I think what is really important for us, and you will ask, okay, what is it in the short term? It will allow you in the office and on board of the ship, with your crew, both on ship and personnel in the office, to have access to a plethora and a wide range of legislative documents. They are being tracked for any of the changes. So it's fantastic for you to have this with you. Publications also play a big role. But there's also a very internal reason why we are so excited to have Marine Regulations with us, because we actually use this ourselves to assess and evaluate what programs we will need in the future, so that we will absolutely be far more efficient and expedite the content much quicker, because we do anticipate there will be quite a lot of content needed in the future. And this is something we actually use ourselves internally. So it covers multiple benefits for all of us, for the customers and for Ocean itself. And handing over to Ronnie, I'll switch off my camera and he'll give you a bit of a practical and an induction with more depth, and then we'll wrap it up after the session. Thank you very much. Handing over to you, Jonathan.
Thanks. So let's get started. I think before we go into the details of Marine Regulations, I want to have a quick talk on the regulatory landscape. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar how these rules and regulations work and which requirements there are for your vessels. We'll not go that much into details, but what I want to illustrate with this is that shipping is international. That means that there are a bunch of rules and regulations that ship owners, ship managers need to comply with. That is international regulations, regional, flag state, coastal state, port state, classification societies, and many more. Besides that, there are also requirements to carry regulatory publications on board. That can be from IMO, that can be from flag states and other organizations. And you might ask, what is the problem with that? The problem is really how to keep an overview of everything. So what to do to comply with these regulatory changes that are coming up? Is that so difficult, you might ask? And as you may know, these regulatory requirements are increasing. There are coming more and more changes every month, even every day. For marine regulations, we add more than 1,000 documents to the system per month. And that says something about how many changes that are going on rules and regulations. IMO are constantly passing new circulars, resolutions, amendments. Flag states also issuing new documents, and the same goes for classes. So there's a lot to keep track on. And what is the risk here? Yeah, the risk is being in non-compliance. That can have reputational damage, loss of profit and penalties, and even detention on vessels if the ships are not carrying the right publications and if they are not complying with the rules and regulations. There have been handed out many fines for this, and it has been very costly for some ship owners and ship managers. So everybody try to do their best, but it is a big job to keep track on it. And to illustrate that a bit better here is that if you're sitting kind of in the middle of everything with the responsibility for keeping an organization up to date, you have a lot of different organizations which rules you need to keep track on. You know, it's identifying, collecting, assessing, it's document management, communication, notifications to the organization, but also to monitor and ensure the quality, how to keep all of this up to date. And, you know, doing this as a ship owner, ship manager is very time consuming, it's resource demanding, and it presents a certain risk for ending in a situation where you would be in compliance. And for these above reasons, ship owners, ship managers are looking for smarter solutions in the market. And this is our suggestion on such a solution. There are, of course, other solutions in the market, but this is MarineRegulations. Some of you might already heard about it before. Some of you might already tried it. But MarineRegulation is a web portal. It also comes as an app. This can be installed on board vessels. It can be accessed from vessels. Everything can be monitored directly from the office, where the managers at the office can see which vessels are using the system and can share publications and so on and so on. And it has, in reality, all the content that 95% of all ship owners basically need on board, either directly in the system or via resale agreements with publishers. So I will not go too much into these details because I will do the demonstration in a minute, but there are, of course, advanced search and filter functionalities. You can generate reports. You can have your favorite documents. You can even see when legislation are coming up. You can get notification of changes, and on board the vessels, very importantly, that you can keep the document you need available offline. Good. A final thing just before jumping into the demonstration, it is a well-established system, trusted by more than 150 clients, used on board more than 2,000 vessels and even more office users. And I'm sure that this will be a benefit it is a benefit for the current companies using it, but I'm for sure that it will also be a benefit for many of the good OTG clients. So let's jump into the demonstration. Just give me a second. So I trust you can see my screen here. This is marine regulations. When you enter the dashboard here on marine regulations, you have some options to search. Go to my documents, notifications, my report, upcoming legislation, and offline documents. I will not go in detail with all of them, but we'll go through the different functionalities. And should you at a later point have need or want to see a more thorough demonstration of the system, we will of course be happy to do that. And of course, you can also trial the system if you are interested in that. But anyway, let's jump into the search functionality. This is where you will be able to search for all the documents that are in the system. In my case, it takes a little bit longer to load because I have everything on this account. The content you can see out here. I basically have everything on this account, but for the individual clients, this will be tailored after the content that the client actually needs to have. So we'll remove all unnecessary classification societies or flag states that is not relevant. So let's just have a quick look at the content. There's a lot of data, documents from all the major classification societies. If we go a bit further down, you would see a coastal state category here that have a lot of the most important waters around the world with special requirements. Not all of them, but the most important ones. And this is an area that constantly are expanded with new local areas. Further down, we have all the rules and regulations from EU, all the stuff that are related to maritime. But there are also other regulations that are not specifically maritime related, but also used on board. That could be ATEX, EMC, the low voltage directive, the machine directive, pressure directives, and so on. If we go a little bit further down, there's a long list of flags, plus 50 flags now, the most comprehensive collection of flag documents in any system in the world. You probably recognize some of the flag you may fly on your vessels. All of this is searchable. Let's get down to IMO. Here, the most important ones are the codes and, of course, the conventions. So just go to the convention as well. Here you also recognize a lot of them, COLREG. Many of you probably know MARPOL and SOLAS. What you can do, you can actually go in under SOLAS here. So besides the convention, you can either go into the chapters, you can also go into amendments, but there's also interpretations and guidance and applications, article and protocols for SOLAS. So there's a lot of information collected here. One thing I want to show you here on SOLAS is that you can go in and see the different chapters. Let's, for example, open, we can start viewing the details. Then you get to a preview page. Here you can kind of have a quick look into the document. We will open the document in a second, but here it has the general information. And if you know it's kind of the right document you have, you would open it. One thing you will notice here, that this is not the IMO publishing services publication. This is a consolidation made by us based on all the legislation that is published. So this is an equivalent version to that of the IMO, and that is recognized by flags, and even the IMO have had a look at this to see if there were anything they disagreed with, which there were not. So this is a different way of doing it. There are other tools in the market that do it the same way, and it has some superior functionalities above the regular books you may know. Especially if you go down, you would see that there are a history table. You can actually see when the different parts of this chapter entered into force. You can see it's color-coded all the way through. It also mentioned in the column to the right the details about how it enters into force. There's a lot of information in this, but how it basically works is that you can then see that there's a change. Here, the last one was published 1 year ago and enters into force in 26. Maybe you want to see what that is all about. But the interesting thing here as well is that this is actually updated in this consolidated edition, but not in the one you receive from IMO, because they republish the book with certain intervals, meaning that you have a lot of loose amendments to the rules that you need to keep track on. Here it's all implemented. You can even jump into the documents, and down here you can see different amendments made to the documents and when it enters into force. In this chapter specifically, you can see that there are actually a lot of colors, which means they enter into force and have been added on different times. But here it's clearly highlighted, and you can even jump to the original resolutions if you want to look at them. They are also embedded here. So you have the option simply just to open the original resolution and read it if that is needed. Of course, in this document, you also have a table. So if you have a specific part, let's say you wanted to read about arrangement for oil, fuels, and lubrication, then you can simply just jump into to the part of the document. So we'll not spend more time on it, but I hope it showed you how these kind of consolidated editions in marine regulations work. This is set up for all the code and conventions in IMO, and a few other documents is also available in this format. Good. So let's go back. So let me just remove that. There's also other content. We have some nautical publications included. There's something related to news. There are a lot of other organizations. I will not go into all of them. Some of them I'm sure you know. Ajax, ISC, OKIMP, and so on. There are the MOU. Besides that, it's actually possible to get access to TSO publications via Marine Regulations. It's also possible to access Witherby publications. These are those publications that in most cases would have to be purchased separately, but can be made available. And of course, also UN legislation here, the WHO, ILO, and so on. So as you can see, it is a pretty comprehensive list. There are even some free content available as well. So how does that system work? You can go in and search for keywords and sentences. Let's just search for ballast water system, just to take an example here. What it does is that it is an elastic search. So it will also find ballast water management systems, ballast water treatment systems, to make sure that most of what the reader would be looking for would be covered by these searches. But then you can search, you can even add more to it. You can say that you are curious about maybe not survey, but let's say inspection. It could be that you want to go even more further down in details. but you can simply just keep adding to this. Right now it sorts alphabetically, but you can, what I usually do, you can sort also for relevance. Then it shows kind of the documents with the most hit. But I find the most interesting one often would be publication date. Then it actually shows the latest date, the latest documents first, where you can see that documents from IMO Liberia have just published earlier this month a new balanced water management plan and so on. But otherwise, you can see which organization have issued the documents and when they have been issued. If you go, let's say you were just interested in looking at IMO documents, you can simply just select that in the category tree, and then it finds the relevant, or it sort down to the relevant IMO documents. You may want to look into the conventions instead, probably to find the ballast water convention, which you then have in here. In this case, it says that the code is not included in this document, but is actually found under codes. So this is how you can search into the document. How it also works in reality, let's maybe choose a different. Let's open this document as an example. We can go to view the document. We could also open it directly, and when we then open the document, there, then we can basically search in here as well. If we wanted to see it, maybe it doesn't make sense to start searching for ballast water, but anyway, it gives you the tool to search into the documents, and then you can continue your search to figure out where exactly what you were looking for is found in the document. Okay, I think this was enough a demonstration about the search functionality. I hope it makes sense. I want to show one more thing you can do here, that if you want to add it to your favorite documents, it could be this is a relevant document for you, then you simply add it here and it lands up in your My Documents. You can also add it for reports if you want to print information on it. Not the whole document, but the data of the document. Then you can add it for reports. Good. Okay, let's jump a little bit further. Here you have my documents. You will see that I have a long list of documents added to my list. I even have some documents that have been outdated, which is clearly shown here. If I selected a document and it was later outdated, then it's clearly shown in here. I can even add comments for my documents. I can even divide them into groups. One of the big advantages about dividing them into groups is that this is how it can be shared with all the vessels. So if you create a group of publications, that can be the publications you would need to carry on board, then you simply add it into a group and share it like this with the vessels, all the organization you need to share it with. And it's pretty straightforward. You can add and delete people in here as you would like. But in this case, it's people. But it could, in many cases, also be vessels and the different vessel accounts. So all publications can be shared from the admin account to the vessels. I don't hope this is too much and too complicated, but bear with me. You always get the opportunity to try it yourself if you're curious about that. So that is my document list. If we go to notifications, this is here where you can add some favorite searches. I have done that, where you can see I have added something on cybersecurity, carbon capture, and autopilot. I also added some categories, and you can do this daily, weekly, or monthly. To show how quickly to do that, you can jump back to the search page. Yeah. Because it's on the search page where you, for example, what we did before, if ballast water system is important and maybe there's a specific flag you want to follow. It could be a few. It could be that you want to, you are using a Bahamas flag, Australian flag. It could be you also use Cyprus for that matter. Then they are added to your list, and you can simply just save this search criteria. And then it's added to your notifications list. So we have it down here, which means now each time a new document, a new rule, a new legislation, a new guideline that includes ballast water systems from Bahamas, Australia, or Cyprus is made available, then you would be notified on this weekly. You can also change it to daily or monthly. It's just a matter of how often you get it. Weekly and monthly, that would of course be accumulated. If you're not interested, you can always turn it off, right? So, but most find this quite useful, especially at the office. We'll not spend that much time on my reports, but here you can basically create a report from the document that you have selected. This is an example where we again say, oh, let's just call that updates, and this is just a test. You can get this in Excel format and CSV. For the purpose of this, we also have created a PDF template just for inspiration on how to set it up. But most would actually, let's see if it opens over here. Most would prefer to set up their own list. But otherwise, it looks a bit like that, and that can be then circulated internally or to clients or suppliers or classes for that matter. Moving a bit ahead, I don't hope I lost anyone yet, but if you go to the upcoming legislation, this is where you can see when publications are entered into force. This takes a little bit time to load, but should be there in a second. So here you can sort. I would always prefer to show it. There's different sort options. I prefer this one actually, where you can see when the new legislations enter into force. Here you have it for all the different categories, but you can even just sort it down to say if you're not interested in all of them, you can always use the filter for it. And then you can actually see when they enter into force. Here we have something from ABS, Singapore, the UK, IMO, Malaysia, and so on. And you can even search in here as well. And then it finds the documents that have something about ballast water. Of course, it's many other things than just ballast water systems, but at least it gave you a really nice tool to start digging into to this. The last feature I want to demonstrate here is offline documents. Here you can keep documents available offline. This is mainly used on board vessels, but also sometimes when people are traveling. So you can see there's a lot of red dots here. These you can simply download, and you will see that the dot is then changed to green. And then that means that it's available offline. So when you are offline, which you are on vessels quite often, you still have access to these publications. Up here, I've shared a group of documents, which are these 5. And, this is a way to create a long list of publications that can be shared with vessels. And they can simply go in. Now it doesn't give me everything here, but when we have everything here, let's say this was a complete vessel list, which is of course not, but just for the sake of it, they can simply go in and download all and say yes to download all of them, and then all the documents are available offline, and basically the vessel is up and running. So I think we covered the major functionalities in the system. One thing that you of course always have is that you can access your profile. If this was a vessel, you would also have the vessel certificate available in here. This is though an office profile, so there's not a certificate for the vessel available, but that would actually be available here if this was a vessel account. But otherwise you can change your details, of course. One thing that is interesting to show is that if you are admin user, you can manage the people on the account, or the vessels for that matter. You have the option in here actually to switch to vessel accounts if you had that, and then you can basically see vessel accounts and the people at the office, and add new users or delete users as you see fit. Here there's iMode test 2. I don't think we need that. So you can basically go in and delete also old users that should not be have access anymore, and easy add new users. So that covered my demonstration of marine regulations. I hope it was very useful. As I mentioned, if you want to know more, and I'm sure Henning will also mention that, you're always welcome to reach out to us. Also, if there's something you believe I didn't cover here, always welcome to raise questions. So that was also me, and back to you, Henning.
Thank you very much, Ronnie. I think it's always a pleasure seeing this and seeing all the features that you have. I think the best ones here really are the ones where you can track certain things, the changes, keep up to date with it. The whole sharing between the office and the vessels is seamless. I think the other thing that is quite interesting, there are no limitations in usability on the vessel. You just have one license for it on the vessel, and anybody who's currently on the vessel can use it, can use their own devices for it, can use it on a special dedicated station, etc. So you pretty much have the world of 80,000 certificates and documents and legislation releases in your pocket if you take it on your mobile phone on board of a ship, for example. So I think it's fantastic. We're really, really happy that you're joining us, because we see great potential here, and I think great benefit for our customers. Everybody that made the time to join us today, thank you very, very much. We really appreciate it. Please do reach out to all of your account managers and your direct contacts at Ocean if you want to see more about this, if you want to have a direct demo. We also have some special deals for this quarter if you would like to adopt it. So your salespeople will be able to work with you on that one. This demonstration is exclusive to Ocean Technology customers at the moment. So we want you to have the first pick and the first benefit. I think that is very much what we always do. Reach out to our customers directly. And yeah, a short follow-up email will go out with a link to the video if you want to have another look at it and watch it again. I would wrap it up here. Thank you very much for joining us. I wish you a fantastic remaining week, and we really look forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye.